What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. Happy Thursday, week 2, Thursday Night Football. We got the Green Bay Packers on in a little bit here against the Washington Commanders. I'm pretty excited about tonight's game. Should be some good fantasy numbers going on here, and I just want to see Micah Parsons, man. I want to see more Packers defense and see if they're the real deal or not. But either way, we're going to hang out for the next half an hour or so. I will answer questions as they come in. So if you want to get your question in the chat, I will look at it as soon as I see it. But I'm going to just read some of the player news and notes that have happened in the last 24 hours or so. The Commanders just listed out Chris Rodriguez Jr. So if you're looking for Eckler or Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt, those are going to be the guys tonight. Micah Parsons officially active. And I'm just going to keep going down on the news here until we get some questions. 49ers receiver Jauan Jennings, they're playing on Sunday, back-to-back days of no practice. So I'm a little concerned with Jauan Jennings missing this weekend. I usually like my guys to practice at least once. If he gets limited in tomorrow, he's got a chance, but I think right now he's trending towards not playing. So if you have Ricky Pearsall, I think he's going to be a guy that just hogs the targets. So we'll see about Jauan Jennings. Good evening to Jonathan. Thank you for hanging out, man. High hopes for Jacobs tonight, hoping he goes for his 10th consecutive touchdown. I mean, it's at this point, it almost just seems inevitable. It's just going to happen. I think when I was looking at the DraftKings sportsbook odds, I'm trying to log into DraftKings here, but he was like minus 200 to score, which is like pretty much like a 90% chance of happening. So I think Jacobs scores. I'd like to see him catch a touchdown. I think that would be kind of fun on a Thursday Night Football. We get a little bit of steam out of some PPR points. So I do like Jacobs to score tonight, Jonathan. And I just, if I'm going to predict how the Packers game goes tonight, you're going to see Jordan Love be efficient throwing the ball. He's going to dish it out to a lot of receivers. They're going to probably pick up first downs. They're going to run with Jacobs. And if they play with the lead, just that's the Packers' bread and butter. The line moved here to 3.5 for the Packers. So I am feeling the Packers tonight. Josh Jacobs is now minus 210 to score a touchdown tonight. So it's pretty much going to happen. Just we don't know when. So thank you, Jonathan, for hanging out with us tonight. I was talking about Jauan Jennings not practicing. Let's see. Evan Ingram practiced in full today. I was pretty concerned about him missing this weekend with his calf injury. It looks like he's full go. He's going to end up playing this weekend. I don't love Evan Ingram in this matchup. If I can find another tight end, I'm hoping to do so, whether it's Juwan Johnson or Fannin or maybe even Jonnu Smith, stuff like that. I think Ingram needs to show it before we kind of, put it into our lineup. And hey, good evening to Harris. Hope you're doing well, buddy. He's asking for Jennings or Mooney rest of season. I think Mooney's going to slide in to wide receiver 2 duties this weekend. I guess on Monday night or Sunday Night Football against the Vikings. I think Mooney is a guy that we liked last year. He had almost 900 yards. He looked pretty good doing it. I think the excitement around Michael Penix throwing the ball and everything looked really good for the Falcons week 1. I'm going to lean Mooney here. It's a shoulder injury for Mooney. Jennings has a shoulder and a plethora of other things going on. Jennings also has to deal with George Kittle coming back and Brandon Ayuk coming back. He's got to deal with Brock Purdy missing games. There's just a lot of things negatively on the Jennings side of the board here, whereas Mooney, I'm seeing Mooney practicing this week. I'm seeing him likely to play against the Vikings. It's not a great matchup for the Vikings, but if I had to roster one of these guys straight up for the rest of the year, I'll go with Mooney. And another good question here, Jennings or Downs rest of season? This one's probably more of a toss-up. I think Downs is still a guy that I really like from a talent perspective, but Michael Pittman looked good. Tyler Warren looked good. I don't know if we're going to see Josh Downs break into the main target role that we had been hoping for. I might lean Jauan Jennings here, but this one's truly a preference call. I guess to me, they're going to be kind of the same guy. They're both wide receiver 5s for me. In this situation, I'll go with Jennings just because I like Brock Purdy's passing opportunities better than Downs, even though it's a little bit of Mac Jones going on here. So Harris has got some soul searching to do there. Brock Bowers not practicing today. That's kind of a big deal. He's hoping to play in week 2, but we'll see how he's feeling throughout the week. They play on Monday Night Football, obviously. So tomorrow we'll get a big practice report, and then we get that one more practice report on Saturday. It would be nice if they just rule him out, or if they say, hey, he's going to play on Saturday, so we know going into the Sunday. But we are definitely watching Brock Bowers here. Who are you dropping for Stefon Diggs? Let me pull up my rest of season rankings here, because I think Diggs is a guy that is going to get better and better as the year goes on. They kind of eased him in last weekend, and I thought he looked good enough to be excited about what he can do for us this season. I think Diggs is probably like a fringe wide receiver 3 flex right now. For me, my rest of season rankings actually have him at wide receiver 44. I'd rather have Stefon Diggs over Juwan Jennings. I'd rather have Stefon Diggs over Marquise Brown, Romeo Doubs, the Packers receivers. I think he projects a little bit more safer than the Packers receivers right now. If you have the ability to pick up stuff, I guess I need more context there, Harris. There's a lot of guys I would drop. I don't know the situation exactly. Jonathan, but we need a flex. JMO, Coleman, Hunter, Ridley, PPR. Also, guy in my league says he's out on Nico Collins. Let's go get Nico Collins, man. Just the week one panic meter it gets a little silly sometime. I think Nico Collins is going to be fine. I think he's going to have a good game against Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football. If you can go get Nico Collins right now, man, so he's asking, would you trade Higgins and Ridley for Nico Collins? I think so. Give me Nico Collins. You're not going to feel comfortable starting Ridley right now. And Higgins, as good as Higgins could be, he also laid an egg in week 1 here. So just give me the best. If that's the cost, I think I'll take Nico. And it looks like you have enough guys here where, Higgins and, we're just upgrading Higgins to Nico, which sounds pretty good. So we need a flex. I think I'm not playing Ridley here. I'm not playing Hunter. It's between Jameson Williams and Keon Coleman here, Jonathan. I want to see more Travis Hunter, but now they're saying that they want to talk him up and get more defensive snaps for him. So I might actually lower him just a notch or two in my rankings. But I think for this week, I'm going to stick with Jameson Williams, a big play guy against the Chicago Bears. I do feel better about the Lions' offense this weekend. If you wanted to go Keon Coleman, I'm fine with that. It's a tough matchup against the Jets corners. And then the other thing too is I don't think Buffalo is going to have to throw the ball 45, 50 times like they did on Sunday Night Football. So for me, I'm going to go Jameson Williams. If you wanted to go Coleman, I'm fine with it, but it's JMO, Coleman, Ridley, Hunter is how I would rank these guys. But I say wheels up, go get yourself some Nico Collins, man. Michael Penix or Jared Goff. It looks good for Penix. All his guys are going to be out there. You got Drake London, you got Darnell Mooney, and now we're going to get Kyle Pitts activated a little bit here. It's a tough matchup against the Minnesota Vikings, so I do have my concerns there. But the thing about Penix, he showed the willingness to run the football, which we didn't really get to see last year in the small sample. So I'm going to go Michael Penix by a hair. Because I think he's going to be a guy that we like what we see. Goff doesn't run the ball. It didn't look good. I have questions. I'm going to go with Penix because it looked good. He ran the football. He got us fantasy points. I'm going to go with Penix on Sunday Night Football. And Double Tap, thanks for your question. Tight end this week, Juwan or David Njoku. And yeah, man, this is one of the most popular scenarios that I've gotten in all my questions this week is what do we do with Njoku? Are we buying Juwan Johnson? I think for now, man, I'm kind of all about just getting more data points on things, especially if we have big questions on offenses. I don't really have a lot of questions with Juwan Johnson. He ran pretty much all the snaps, all the routes, got 11 targets. I think the Saints are going to have to throw the ball a ton again. Now, they're playing San Francisco. They have good linebackers there. Fred Warner. They have good secondary players. It might be a tougher matchup, but I think I'm going to lean Juwan Johnson over David Njoku. Njoku against Baltimore intrigues me a little bit. We did see Buffalo's tight ends look pretty decent against them, but I'm going to lean Juwan Johnson here. But if you wanted to go Njoku, I think he's going to be okay. I know everyone's kind of nervous about Fannin, but I think Njoku's going to be okay. But let's go Juwan. Dropping Downs or Jennings? We'll drop Downs there, Harris. Let's go get Stephon Diggs, and we'll drop Downs. Let me see if I can find some more news blurbs for you guys. So Quinshon Judkins practiced in full today. He met with the NFL in New York yesterday about a possible suspension. I think if you have Quinshon Judkins, there's reason to be excited about what he can do for our fantasy lineups, but not this week. I think I'm not going to start a guy in his first game back. He could easily score a rushing touchdown. Like I'm gonna say that because they gave Raheem Sanders, a random guy, a touchdown opportunity last week, and he provided it. But the volume, the unpredictability of what we're looking at, we're not starting Quinshon Judkins. I think Dylan Sampson, though, if you have Dylan Sampson in a full PPR, he's the guy that I want in my lineup if I can find a way to do it. If you have $100 to spend on the year, I got leagues where in $100 budget, like Fannin went for 37 today. Quentin Johnston was drafted. It was Kayshon Boutte went for 25. Calvin Austin went for 13. There's a little bit more desperation, I think, early in the season, but if Diggs was cut this week, 20 seems about right. I think 20 seems about right there, Harris. And good evening to David. Thank you for hanging out with us. He's asking Walker, Charbonnet, Sampson, Eckler, plus one possible flex. My wide receivers are London, Sutton, and Pickens. I want to start London and Sutton. I think those two guys are pretty good at the receiver position. I'm assuming we have to start two of these running backs. I'm going to go ahead and start Walker. I've really looked into the Seattle stuff, man. I think we are a little overreactive of what happened week one. Kenneth Walker started the game. Kenneth Walker also got pretty much all the fourth quarter work too. Charbonnet just happened to be in on the drive that got the goal line touchdown, and he also got some 2-minute drill at the end of the first half. So I think the Steelers, like we saw Breece Hall and Braylon Allen and company have a nice running day here. I think I want to go with Kenneth Walker as one of the running backs. I'm probably going to rank Dylan Sampson as my running back 2 here. I'm going to fade Charbonnet. I think he's the 1B here, even though he got the touchdown last weekend. So I'm going to go Walker and Sampson as my top 2 running backs. At flex, this is what it's going to come down to. To me, it's Eckler or Pickens. I like Pickens this weekend, but obviously he's pretty boomer bust. If you wanted to wait one more week and see what it looks like for George Pickens in this passing offense, I think I'm fine with that. He does have a pretty nice ceiling, though. He could easily go for 100 yards and a touchdown in almost any given week. And against the Giants, that's totally possible. Whereas Eckler, tonight in a game where we're expecting the Packers to play with a lead, that could mean more Austin Eckler as the game wears on. And potentially, racking up reception. So I have Eckler as a safe 8 to 12 point PPR play. If you want to just collect those safe points, I would say go with Eckler tonight. Otherwise, if you feel comfortable with George Pickens, I think I'm going to flex George Pickens. And yeah, full PPR there for David. So this Seattle backfield, man. I mean, I went through the game log and I read everything that happened, and Kenneth Walker did start. He got a lot of opportunities early, but the drives that Walker was in on early, we were getting incompletions by Darnold. We were getting penalties. We were getting also fumbles. We were just getting negative plays, and they weren't getting the chunk plays, big plays to JSN. So it was just kind of a negative script a lot of the time when Kenneth Walker was in there. So I'm not completely panicking on Kenneth Walker yet. I think I'm gonna trust him one more time here. I do like J.K. Dobbins this weekend. I think the Broncos are going to overcorrect and run the ball more this weekend. Bo Nix, just didn't really operate as smoothly as we would have liked. I think you're looking at a game where J.K. Dobbins gets, up to 15 opportunities. They're going to mix in R.J. Harvey. I think Dobbins, on the road in Indy, to me that they're coming in to run the football, and they want to make sure that they control the game and play good defense and not mess this up, because the Broncos like what they have this year. And I think that's just how Sean Payton's going to play it. So Dobbins, he's an RB2 flex play this weekend. I'm going to see if I got any more practice news reports for us. Good news on Michael Pittman. He's full practice today. Michael Pittman's one of those guys that I have to take an L on. He looks pretty good. I kind of faded him a little too hard because I love Josh Downs, but we often forget how good Michael Pittman can be. He was not very healthy last year, and I think I just kind of read too much into how he looked last year and didn't anticipate him kind of picking up where he left off in 2023. I also didn't anticipate Daniel Jones coming out and operating so smoothly. So we'll see. But Michael Pittman right now, early returns look pretty good. I do have a stash play. If you guys want to stash Isaiah Likely, he's the guy to keep an eye on at the tight end position. He might look like a guy that could come in and get some work in a couple weeks here, maybe next weekend, week 4, something like that. Dallas Goedert not practicing today. If you have Goddard and you were expecting to use him as your tight end 1, I think I would start to look for other plans. I don't think he's going to play this weekend. So if you need tight end help, let me know. Xavier Worthy practiced today. There's video of him actually practicing and doing some things. I think it would be kind of crazy for him to play with a dislocated shoulder in the first week back, but things happen like that all the time. If they can brace him up and get him in the game plan, and maybe they're not like, you got Marquise Brown, you got Juju. A lot of those guys can kind of do those short 5 to 8 yard routes and take the beating, whereas maybe Worthy is more of a vertical deep threat. I think for me, if Worthy plays in this game, I'm not going to start him. I'm going to look for somebody else. So that's just kind of my thought there. I just don't think they're going to use him. I mean, the plan was for him to get 7 to 8 catches, on that first game. But obviously Kelsey had other opinions on that one. So frustrating, but I think we wait and see what Worthy looks like in this game, even if he plays. Good news on running back James Cook. He practiced in full today after popping up on the injury report yesterday. I have no issues with James Cook. The other one for the Bills that we have to monitor, though, is the defensive tackle Ed Oliver did not practice today, which is a huge deal. If he doesn't play, man, like Breece Hall, Justin Fields, Braylon Allen, the Jets offense as a whole looks a lot better. So we'll see on Ed Oliver tomorrow. Ooh. Double tap. I think if you have Jordan Mason on your team, like you're going to be very happy very soon. Jordan Mason, when I was looking at the numbers here, he is one of the only players on the Vikings with positive, minus odds to score a touchdown on Sunday Night Football. Like they're expecting Jordan Mason to score a touchdown. He kind of dominated the running game for Minnesota. I think he looked fantastic against a good Bears front seven. I don't think the Atlanta Falcons defense is as good as the Bears. And if we expect I expect the Vikings to look better this weekend than they did on Monday Night Football at home. JJ McCarthy kind of got the rust knocked out, and Jordan Mason looked like the best running back on the Vikings. Aaron Jones caught the pass for a touchdown, which was nice. But Jordan Mason got 15 carries, man. Isaiah Pacheco got 5? Pretty easy for me. Double tap. I'm going Jordan Mason at flex. Ben, thank you for the question. Pick 2 full PPR: ETN, Tricky Ricky, Waddle, Judy. This one's pretty easy for me, man. I think I'm going to lock in Travis Etienne as the first answer here. Tank Bigsby's gone. ETN looked great against the Panthers. I'm not scared of the Bengals D. I think ETN's in for another 15 to 20 touches in this game. We're starting ETN with confidence until further notice. And then Pearsall, Waddle, Judy. I think you got to go with Ricky Pearsall here. Mac Jones is capable. He is a guy that's got a lot of experience in the NFL. No George Kittle, maybe no Jawan Jennings. They just signed Kendrick Bourne. Who are they going to throw the ball? I think Ricky Pearsall might be getting 10, 11, 12 targets in this one. Whereas Waddle, we got to see the Dolphins perk up a little bit before we trust them. Jerry Jeudy, they're feeding a lot of other guys there. I do think the Browns are going to have to throw the ball this weekend, but I think I'm going to go Ricky Pearsall here and Travis Etienne. Good question there from Ben. That's a tough one, but I do feel pretty confident with Etienne and Pearsall in my lineup there. See if I can find any more news nuggets for us. Wan'Dale Robinson practiced today. He did not practice yesterday. They're saying that he's going to play. I think Wan'Dale Robinson as a low-end wide receiver 3, if you need him in a PPR, I think that can be fine. And hey, I'm glad we're able to be thinking the same things. I think that helps. So yeah, I think we got ETN and Pearsall locked in for some good games. Yeah, man. ETN's another one of those guys that I was wrong on. Maybe not necessarily wrong on. I was just avoiding the Jags running backs because I thought all of them could be the guy, whether it's ETN or Tootin or Bigsby. And then you got LaQuint Allen coming in here catching passes. I thought it would kind of be a mess, but for them to come out and just say, hey, like ETN's the guy, I missed on that one. A lot of people with ETN right now are feeling pretty good about what they got. And I think this weekend we're going to see the Jags offense perk up a little bit. Last weekend was weird. Anytime where there's like an hour and whatever delay, the game wasn't really a good game to begin with, and all the momentum was killed. So I think there's a chance Jacksonville perks up this weekend. We're going to see a lot of opportunities for ETN, Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, Brenton Strange, Trevor Lawrence. I think it's going to look a lot better this weekend for fantasy purposes. Malik Neighbors has a little bit of injury concern with the back. This is something that I've kind of foresaw coming. I mean, he was dinged up with the toe and he was missing practice and things like that. He might just have to be managing his workload all season, for practice reports. But I do think Malik Neighbors is on track to play in week 2. Good news for Tampa Bay, man. Tristan Wirfs, the fantastic offensive tackle, is expected to practice on Thursday. I don't know if he's going to play on Monday Night Football. I would assume not, but maybe he's on track to play week 3 or 4. So good news for Bucky Irving and Baker Mayfield and the passing game opportunity there. That's very, very good news on Tristan Wirfs. Let me see what else we got here. We are feeling pretty good about tonight. I'm curious what you guys think of the game tonight. Packers, Commanders. The Packers are 3.5-point favorites. I did post a prop bet in the website tonight. I'm going Jordan Love 2 touchdowns. So we'll see how they look. I think Josh Jacobs is a free square if you want to just collect some cash. I think he could be an interesting spot. Good evening, Chase. Good to see you, man. Thank you for hanging out. Jaden Reed, man. The Packers are just a team that has a lot of bodies at the receiver position. They're going to run Romeo Doubs out there the most. They're going to mix in Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks. It's going to be just a lot of bodies, a lot of names. And, I mean, they're running 2-3 tight ends now. Jordan Love's just going to continue to spread the ball. So my thoughts on Jaden Reed is when Jaden Reed's on the field, like he ran 12 routes last weekend, but he was targeted on 5 of them. So when he's on the field, he's probably getting a look. I mean, almost 50% of his snaps got a target. So when he's on the field, like when you're watching the game tonight, like look out there. If there's 3 receivers out there, Jaden Reed's probably out there, and just watch him because there's a good chance the ball's going his way. And then that pick route that Dontavian Wicks schemed up for him was pretty sweet. But I think Reed is just, it's tough, man. He's not a volume guy. But he can make big plays happen. I'm thinking, probably no more than 3 catches at the most. And, we're banking on a big play. With his foot injury, I don't think he's getting any end arounds or any running opportunities, but I think Jaden Reed could easily pop off for a big play or 2 tonight. Probably a guy that could be in your DraftKings lineup. But I'm not super confident with him in my fantasy lineup because he does need, if you're going to start a Packers receiver in your lineup, they need a touchdown. That's pretty much what it's going to be all year. And hey, no problem. No problem. You don't need to apologize. Debo for Justin Herbert. I would need more context there, Harris. Is Debo on our bench? Who's our starting quarterback? That kind of stuff. Because I like Debo and I love Herbert. Like, these are both good players for me. If I don't need Debo Samuel and it upgrades my quarterback massively, I'm very open to it. Chase, it looks like Dallas Goedert's not going to play. He has not practiced today or yesterday, back-to-back DNPs. They pretty much said that they're not expecting him. So your answer might have to be Mark Andrews. I think Dallas Goedert got a little bit of a knee MCL situation going on, a little bit of a sprain. I'm expecting no Dallas Goedert, but if there's no Goddard, that's going to make me feel better about my Devonta Smith and my AJ Brown shares. So plan for no Goddard on Sunday. Both of them would start no matter who I have. I guess Harris, I would need to know who your receivers, like what's your receiver group, what's your quarterback group. Like who would start for Debo and who am I upgrading from Herbert on? I need a little bit more context. But I'm kind of like Herbert's one of my favorite players in all of football. I think he's in for a really fun season. Does Pickens bounce back this week? I think Dak Prescott in general bounces back this weekend. And if you really think about it, man, we're a couple CeeDee Lamb drops away from the Cowboys being 1-0 and Dak Prescott, just the momentum for the Cowboys could be a lot higher. I think this is the week where it's their home opener. We're going to see them open it up and hopefully get CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens both involved. We're going to see Jake Ferguson obviously involved, Kevontae Turpin, and maybe Jaden Blue in this one too. So I think the Cowboys in general are in for a bounce back week offensively. If I have Pickens, I'm trying to find a way to get him in my lineup. You have Jared Goff and Caleb Williams. I mean, I get the concern if it was just Jared Goff, but I think Caleb Williams, he's going to be a guy that I am pretty excited about. Samuel is your fourth receiver, so I don't know if he's starting for you. If there's a way, Harris, send me some screenshots of your full lineup. I want to look at the full lineup. You can just send them on X. I'll take a look at it. I do think Herbert is the clear-cut quarterback option for you. If you don't need Debo and we like some of the depth there, I think I'm open to this deal. But send me some screenshots, Harris. I mean, it's Chris Rodriguez, man. We've seen him for a couple years. He doesn't offer anything really on special teams. He's a bruiser back. He's a guy that doesn't really offer a lot of excitement. If you have him in Dynasty, go find somebody else that you think maybe can get on the field at least here, because anything's better than nothing. And it sure looks like Chris Rodriguez being inactive for the second straight game, he's really only going to provide any value if maybe Eckler or, God forbid, JCM gets hurt. But Eckler, JCM, that is the duo going forward here. But hey, I'm going to get out of here for tonight, guys. This was fun. Thursday Night Football, Packers. We're just back into the swing of things. I'm just a happy guy doing stupid YouTube videos, and I'm honored for you to be watching. I have an audience. It's pretty cool. I'm very happy to have you with me tonight. And I want to say thank you again. Good luck tonight. If you guys do have questions, you guys can always hit me up on X at the fellow KGB. If you're a fellowship member, try and use the Discord more. I'm trying to push that more. That's where I post all my updates and my news and my notes. So always get your Discord questions in. Thank you, Harris. I'll take a look at that shortly after here. And good luck tonight. Go Pack Go. Hope you guys get everything you need, or hopefully everything you don't need happens. We'll see. Either way, thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Peace.